Welcome to This Week in Cord Cutting, episode number 46, the show where I give you my opinion on some of the biggest stories in the world of cord cutting from the past week. Now, this is my opinion. If you want to learn more about these stories, in the show notes down below, I'll link to each story so you can read more about them. First though, hey, if you're watching this in the next week or so, we have a big giveaway. We're giving away a Roku Premiere and a Roku Premiere Plus. If you want to enter this giveaway, have a link down in the show notes. But these are the brand new 2018 models. Just found these at a local Walmart. So this is your opportunity to get a free 2018 Roku Premiere or Roku Premiere Plus. First place you get the Premiere Plus, and the second place you get Premiere. So again, link down in the show notes. Well, let's dive into this. Speaking of new players, there's a brand new Fire TV stick. This is a 4K version. You've heard me talk about it. I've posted in the past. I believed a new Fire TV was in the works. Now we have it. And it's a 4K HDR, Dolby Vision HDR, HDR10 also Fire TV stick. It comes in at 50 bucks and it brings a cheap Dolby Vision. Now Roku has a, right here, a $40 4K player with HDR, but I don't believe this is Dolby Vision. Everything I says it's just HDR10. Roku does have Dolby Vision on many of their TVs and other devices, but this is a great deal if you really want Dolby Vision on it. It's coming out at the end of this month. It's $49.99, so it's $10 more than the standard HD Fire TV stick. And honestly, if you're getting a Fire TV stick, I would spend the extra 10 bucks and get this one, even if you don't have a 4K TV, because this will future-proof you, so that next time you want a new TV with 4K, you're all set. I will put a link down in the show notes to pre-order this. But one of the biggest features here is not the 4K HDR. It is the new remote. So the Fire TV remote is very similar. So this is the old Fire TV remote. You know, it's just like all the other Fire TV remotes, play, pause, directional button. The new one adds in a ability for a volume here. So you can control your TV. There's a little power button so you can turn on and off your TV. There's even a mute button. Very similar to what Roku did in their 2017 lineup, where they added the ability to control your TV to the Roku remotes, like a universal remote. Amazon is now adding a universal remote to their Fire TV remotes. And it's not just for the new Fire TV stick. The new Fire TV Cube is getting a minor update. They're re-releasing it. And as best I can tell, the only thing different there is the new remote. So it comes with the ability to power on and off your TV, mute it, control the volume, and more on the remote. And you can go and I believe buy this separately, but really it's kind of one of those things. If you want it, it's great. I wouldn't be running out to buy the new Fire TV Cube just to get the new remote. I don't think it's necessarily that great of a feature to justify rebuying the Fire TV Cube. I'll put links down in the show notes, but let me know. Are you excited about this new one? What do you think? How important is the ability to power on and off your TV and control the volume on the remote? Is that enough to make you go buy another one, another remote at least, or upgrade device? Or do you not care? Will you be upgraded to the Fire TV stick? We do have a pre-order waiting for us. We're trying to get an early review unit. No promises. But we will be doing our best to do a side-by-side comparison. Is it actually more powerful than the Fire TV stick current model? Or, you know, will with the fact that it's offering 4K and all this additional stuff actually be a little bit slower? We'll let you know as soon as we get it on release date, if not sooner. All right, let's move along. Vidgo is planning to launch a live TV streaming service to take on Sling TV and DirecTV Now. Now, you probably heard Vidgo off and on for a while. They announced back in 2016. The word was that they intended to launch the service back then, kept getting delayed. Now they're releasing some numbers. So earlier this week, we learned that there was a $19.99 Spanish package for 20 channels, a $29.99 Spanish package for 30 plus channels, and now we've learned that they also intend to launch an English-focused channel with package with US channels for 40 bucks, $39.99, and it's aimed to take on Sling TV and DirecTV Now at that price point. It will be interesting to see what they do with that. There's really not a lot of details here, other than the fact that they are releasing pricing. They are taking pre-orders for their Spanish packages, but they're not taking pre-orders right now for their English packages. We'll see. They've been around for a while. They have been just kind of floating. There's been press releases a little here, there, but now we're finally getting some confirmed hard numbers on pricing. It'll be interesting. I'm all for more competition. They have a hard road ahead of them, though. There's 8 major live TV streaming services, another dozen smaller ones like the Tiki TVs and the Sky Streams and all those smaller ones. The HD Home Run Premium TV one is another service out there that is going to make it hard for services like Vidgo to stand out in a way that wouldn't have been 2 years ago. Back in 2016, if they had launched, the competition was just a fraction of what it is now. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do. Like I've said many times, we're getting to the point of oversaturation where there's more streaming services than demand. Doesn't mean cord cutting's bad. It just means when you have 20 live TV streaming services, at some point one of them is just not going to make it because the competition, there's too much competition for the amount of people that can subscribe. Even if all 90 million people cable subscribers became streamers tomorrow, 20 streaming services all competing is kind of a lot. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. So keep an eye on this. But I do welcome competition, even if they don't make a lasting impact, and I don't think they're going to go away anytime soon. I think all these services have a long runway ahead of them. I think that the competition will continue to drive other people to be more aggressive. We've always seen this. When a new service enters, other services get more competitive. So keep an eye on this. Do you plan to try Vidgo? Question of the day, maybe, do you remember when Vidgo first announced? Are you skeptical? Are you interested? Let me know. What do you think of Vidgo's plans? What we know of it? Again, link in the show notes. Leave me a comment. I'll love to hear from you. Speaking of places becoming more competitive with more competition, YouTube TV announced a bunch of new features. Most importantly, this week, YouTube TV dropped most of the DVR restrictions on most but not all channels. This means now, instead of being stuck with just whatever, if they wanted to force the on-demand version, you had to watch the on-demand version. On most channels, it now gives you the option to pick on-demand or your DVR version. That means you can now fast forward through commercials and other features. Really cool. One of the most requested features of YouTube TV was to drop a lot of the DVR limitations, and now they've done that. The other thing they've done is they've added the ability to have a dark mode. So now all the menus that used to be light now has an optional dark feature there, which is pretty cool. And some other minor features here, tweaks and the like. But the big one really is the ability to control the DVR. The other one I wanted to mention was the ability now to hide scores. If you ever looked at YouTube TV, you notice that they do offer a feature to show who's winning a game that's happening live. Now you can hide that in the settings. But I'd like to know, how important is that DVR feature to you now that they allow you to pick the on-demand version or the live version? Problem with on-demand is you couldn't fast forward through commercials. The live version you can. So leave me a comment, let me know. Love to hear from you on that. But if you haven't tried YouTube TV, maybe it's time to check it out. I know one of the biggest knocks against it, well, it was a long DVR time frame. A lot of your programs got replaced with on-demand versions. A lot of people didn't like that. Now that's been replaced. Maybe time to give them another try. Last story of the day, and it comes back to our old friend Net Neutrality. So Net Neutrality has been a hot topic in the world of cord cutting. A lot of people, of course, want the ability to make sure that their ability to stream content and access the internet is not compromised. California passed a very strict bill with a lot of catches in it for net neutrality. One of the ones that has a lot of people up in arms is some of the implementations that would basically make it impossible for them to, AT&T to say, DirecTV now gets unlimited data if you have our internet service, but Sling TV, we're going to monitor and cap that data as part of your data cap. This new bill says, hey, you either have to data cap all live TV streaming services or none of them. You can't say our service doesn't get counted towards the data cap, but our competitors do. That's one of the things, of course, everything you would expect in a net neutrality bill, the idea that they cannot come in here and say, oh, well, we're going to slow down this service in favor of that service kind of thing. As you would expect, there's a lot of lawsuits, but one of them may surprise you. The Department of Justice has sued California. And their argument is that California does not have legal rights to dictate interstate commerce, and the internet is interstate by its definition. Just because you're reading my site in California, I'm in Texas, my server is somewhere else, not in Texas, not in California. Does California have the ability to dictate what I do on my website? And that's what the Department of Justice says. No, it doesn't. This will be very interesting. Can states regulate their internet within their state, knowing the fact that it's going to affect people outside their state? There are laws that says interstate commerce is regulated by the federal government. That's the job of the federal government. Keep an eye on this. This is challenging the idea of what is sovereign territory in a state. And that'll be very interesting to see. Keep a close eye on this. Of course, the Department of Justice is not the only one suing. Other states, like other companies, pretty much every ISP in California has sued to block this. A lot of them, especially like AT&T, is upset about the idea that they can't offer unlimited mobile data and so on to their DirecTV Now customers. Keep a close eye on that. That is an important point here about the future of data caps on services and what's called zero rating, the idea that they're not going to record data for this service, but they are on that service. So let me know, who do you think should win? Should California win? Should they be able to do this? Is the Department of Justice right? Are they messing with interstate commerce in a way they shouldn't, according to the laws? What about the ISPs? Should ISPs be able to say, hey, if you use DirecTV Now, you can get unlimited data, but if you use Sling TV, you're going to be counted towards the data cap? Leave me a comment, let me know. But I think these are the biggest stories in the week to keep an eye, or the future cord cutting to keep an eye on from the past week. Keep a close eye on that California law. Keep an eye on Vidgo and other live TV streaming services. We still got T-Mobile TV and more coming out. Amazon's a new Fire TV. Of course, Roku has new streaming players, which you can win. Don't forget to check out the giveaway at the bottom and more. So keep a close eye on this. We would love to hear from you on what you think is some of the biggest stories in the world of cord cutting. What are your opinions? If you're new here, hit that subscribe, hit that thumbs up. We would really appreciate it. But check back every Saturday morning-ish. No real set time on when it goes live on Saturday, but we're here giving you our weekly recap on the biggest stories in the world of cord cutting. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.